Hey, Lee Cole here. Thanks so much for looking at this quick video. I want to talk to you about an amazing piece of software that I've been playing around with for a couple of days now. It's called MetaDomainer, and it's put out by a good friend of mine, Gene Pimentel, and a couple of his partners. Now, you notice the name of the software is MetaDomainer, and that's because the three guys that created this, they are all big-time players in the domaining world. Gene's been doing domaining professionally as his career over 15 years. That's cool. I mean, I do some domaining. It's not my main deal, but I make a few $1,000 every year just out of buying and selling domains. Again, that's cool, but I also really want to draw your attention to the fact that this software is so much more useful than just for domaining. It is massively useful for search engine optimization, and it is incredibly useful in the same way for local businesses. Now, we're going to have a little walkthrough of MetaDomainer, and I'm really going to focus on how to use this in local businesses, but the method that I'm talking about could easily be used for an e-commerce site or something like that. What MetaDomainer does, besides keeping track of all your domains and all that cool stuff, it very rapidly, we're talking about within seconds, it very rapidly creates full websites. Now, these are not WordPress websites. These are HTML websites, so they're blindingly fast when somebody lands on there. That's really good for your rankings. But this rapidly creates full websites associated with the domains in MetaDomainer. Now, I do a lot of local business marketing, and one thing that I've always done for my clients is I've always bought domains and set up satellite websites that would feed traffic back to their main site. One of the ways I do this is instead of focusing on a city, I will focus on like a neighborhood or a part of a city or a zip code or something like that. In just a second, I'm going to take you out to the internet and I'm going to show you how exactly what I would do for a client who's a chiropractor and in a part of Atlanta that we call Buckhead. But basically the idea is buying a lot of domains, using MetaDomainer not just to keep up with those, but to rapidly create websites on those and point those websites back to the client's site. So that's what you would do for local businesses. And again, for like an e-commerce site or my business's website, you do exactly the same thing. You would buy a lot of longer tail, i.e. longer keywords and as domains, right? And then you'd use MetaDomainer to basically create installation of websites all pointing back to various pages on your website. This is and there are tons of other uses of this software. This is amazing. So what I'm going to do next, there are two things coming next, okay? Next, you're going to see me out on the internet. I'm just be Googling some stuff and showing you in GoDaddy exactly what I mean by buying domains and using MetaDomainer. And then we're going to go and watch one of the creators of MetaDomainer, a guy named Dan Nickerson. He's the guy who created the Socrates WordPress theme, if you're familiar with that. And it currently has over 200,000 users. Yeah, he's a big dog. So, I mean, as in, that's what a good old Southern boy means. He is a big player in that space for those of y'all who don't understand Southern. But anyway, so we'll end up with watching Dan walk us through using MetaDomainer. So, cool beans, hold the phone just a second. You're going to see me online in just a second. Okay guys, so we're out here on the internet and I'm currently on GoDaddy. You don't have to use GoDaddy, use Namecheap, use any domain registrar you want. They just have a convenient search box here. And let's say you had a client who was a chiropractor, and let's say it was in a certain part of the city that you live in or that your client is in. I'm using a part of Atlanta called Buckhead. This is just a sort of a general part of Atlanta. It's larger than a neighborhood, smaller than a small city. And It's a pretty high-end part of Atlanta, so they're going to have a lot of chiropractors. Now, if I had a client who was a chiropractor in Buckhead, I have actually clients who are chiropractors in other parts of town, but not currently one in Buckhead, which is why I'm using Buckhead. But, I would be looking for, I would just search in Google and I would be looking for domain names that have the word chiropractor and Buckhead in it. Chiropractic Healthcare Buckhead. Man, that's a long domain name. But look, it's ranked number 2. This is just an organic search, right? Okay, I mean, I just typed in chiropractor Buckhead and look at these guys. Chiropractic Healthcare Buckhead. That's the name, apparently the name of the business too. See what else we got. You see, they're not a lot, and I love the fact that they're not a lot, because if I get a domain name that's close to Chiropractor Buckhead or Buckhead Chiropractor, something like that, if I do some other on-page, on-site and on-page SEO to it, I've got a really good chance of ranking pretty well for this. And I mean, look, the 197,000 competing results. That's not that many in the world of SEO. And you see, we don't see a lot of these. Buckhead back pain. I like, that has Buckhead in it. It's got one of my keywords in it. So you see, they're just not a lot with that. So I go over to GoDaddy and I'm going to search this. I just thought, somebody's had a car accident. Somebody is woke up in the morning and their back feels bad and they want to go to a chiropractor and they don't currently have a chiropractor that they use. See this thing right here? They're going to use that thing to search, right? And that's another cool thing about the websites created with MetaDomainer. They're completely responsive. In other words, they fit on phones really, really well, and they're so blindingly fast. The Google's going to love the fact that on a phone they're going to be blindingly fast. It's going to help them rank a lot higher in the search results. Most people searching for stuff like this nowadays search on phones. So let's say somebody's on their phone and they're, you got to kind of think a little bit about this. It's not like a piece of software out there that can give you the answer. You have to learn to think like the client, the patient, the customer of your client. So in this case, we're talking about patient. So if you were searching for a chiropractor, I mean, in Buckhead, you might search something like, you might just take this thing and just, type in here, chiropractor Buckhead. Well, let's see if that's available. Yeah, bam, it's available, chiropractor Buckhead. GoDaddy also has really good at suggesting other domains for you. These two for SEO purposes are going to be the same. I don't really fool with anything beyond anything. Excuse me. Anything other than .com is what I'm trying to say. I don't mess around with those. Chiropractic Buckhead, I would probably buy that one. Chiropractor Buckheads, it's a little weird. But MetaDomainer, I mean, basically the chiropractor Buckheads. I mean, look, you could just buy. It takes you really 3 seconds to create a site. You might as well just buy that and throw that up there. Ooh, look at this, chiropractor Buckhead MD. That's kind of interesting. NYC, that's the wrong part of the world. But as you can see, we're getting a lot of ideas of others to buy. Let's say chiropractor in Buckhead. Let's try this. And again, you have to learn to think like your client. What happened? Did I almost buy that? I'm not even signed in. You have to think like your client's client, patient, or whatever. In other words, you got to start thinking, well, how would people be looking for this stuff? Let's see if we get chiropractors in Buckhead. I would probably pick that one up too. And so I think you get the idea. Chiropractic in Buckhead, I might pick that up. So what I do is, and I used to use this with WordPress, but now that I've gotten MetaDomainer for my clients, I'm going to start using MetaDomainer. What I love to do for the client's main site is I love to buy domains and just throw up informative, good looking, and you'll see examples of sites created by MetaDomainer. They look amazingly cool. But I throw up sites, good-looking sites that will brand my client's business really, really well, and those all have links back to, the main website. That does two things. One, people are just going to be searching on this stuff, right? And they're going to land on one of my satellite sites, and they're just going to think, wow, that's pretty cool, and click the button and end up on my client's site. Or it also just gets a little more SEO juice going back to the client's site. So all of this is really, really good stuff to do. That's how I would use MetaDomainer in a local business, in a local business type world, which is one thing that I do a lot of. But you could do exactly the same thing with an e-commerce site. You could do exactly the same thing with like a company that just sells stuff online, like my software company. We just sell stuff online. So I can do exactly the same thing with that. I can be thinking of keywords that people would search for when they're searching for software, that the kind of software that we build, and throwing up sites with MetaDomainer, and the same idea. I mean, people will search for stuff, land on those, come back to the main site. Over time, it's going to create a ton of traffic, and not to forget the SEO juice that you get out of that. So that's how I'm planning on using this wonderful piece of software myself. In the next part of this video, you're going to see Dan actually walk you through how the software works. Thank you so much. I'm Lee Cole. 2 seconds, and we'll shoot over to the next video.
Hey, it's Dan Nickerson. I want to thank you for checking out MetaDomainer recently. We've had a lot of success with the plugin, and I wanted to make a video to show how easy it is to actually get a domain name and to make a website using MetaDomainer. So I'm going to show you in just a couple of minutes. We're going to go through the whole process. So if you want to see me make a small business website in under a couple of minutes, just keep watching the video. And I also apologize, I'm fighting a little bit of a cold here, so hopefully I won't be too irritating here. So I'm inside of MetaDomainer right now, so you can see I have all these domains. And what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Gene's Name Snagger list. So this is one of the offers that we have as an upsell. It's access to Gene's Name Snagger list. I've actually already pre-selected a domain from this list today, and it is Woodlawn Roofing. So see, Woodlawn Roofing is available as of right now for this domain. I did check to make sure. Now, why is that a good domain? Let me go to Google, and I'm going to type in towns. You can see I already did it just to make sure I wouldn't go crazy here. Towns named Woodlawn. So these are all populated towns named Woodlawn. So you can imagine that there's a lot of businesses that are in these towns. I'm not going to look up the population right now. Now I'm going to go to GoDaddy, and I'm going to type in woodlawnroofing.com, and I'm going to click to see if it's available still. And it is available. So I'm going to add it to cart, and I'll get a discount when I check out because I'm part of their club. I'm going to continue to cart. I will end up blurring out some of this stuff, of course. I don't need privacy protection. I don't need a website from GoDaddy. I don't need anything else. I'm just going to continue to cart. And I'm going to complete my purchase. I get my discount. I just did 1 year. And I am now registered. So I'm going to leave this right now. And now I'm going to go into MetaDomainer. I'm going to click on Add Domain. I'm going to type in woodlawnroofing.com. I'm going to choose the small biz template. I'm going to go to my drop-down menu right now, and I'm going to select my small biz placeholder, and I'm going to type in Woodlawn Roofing, right? and it said, I want to say, this could be your domain. Okay, so all I'm going to do, and I'm just going to type in your about information. And under here, I'm just going to type in your services. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my media library, and as an upsell, we give you all these different graphics packs. So you can see here is a one with a roof. So it's actually called Roofer 2. I'm going to copy this link, but you get all these images. So I'm copying this link, and I'm going to go back here. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to type in company name, Woodlawn Roofing. I'm going to type in Woodlawn Roofing, your local roofer, just as an example. And we provide free roofing estimates. So I'm just going to do that. Finally, I'm going to paste that image in here. And now I'm done. I'm just going to check that this is the small biz template. And I'm going to click on publish. And now I'm going to view this page. And you can see now I have Woodlawn Roofing. This could be your domain, call to action, about, services, contact. These are jump links. So I have this page already built. Now I'm going to take this link without the about. I'm just going to go back here. I don't need that little hashtag. I'm copying that link. I'm going back to GoDaddy. Let me go to manage my domains. I will blur out some of this stuff here. It's showing me all my domains. I'm going to scroll down to Woodlawn Roofing. Come on. Come on. There's Woodlawn Roofing. Now I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to click on forward, forwarding my domains. This is HTTP, not HTTPS. And I'm just going to paste that in, and I'm going to get rid of the that there. And I'm done. There we go. I had an extra slash on the end. And I'm going to do forwarding with masking, and I'm going to type in Woodlawn. I actually need a new this because I'm doing forwarding masking. And I'm just going to say your local Woodlawn roofer. And I'm going to leave the keywords blank. And I'm going to click on save. And I am done. Now, will this come up right away? Probably not. Let me check though. So I'm going to check and see if it comes up right away. Okay, the site is now live. It took me about 30 seconds. I used a little flush DNS trick to make the site come up live quicker. And so if it doesn't work for you, you can just restart your computer and the site should come up within 1 or 2 minutes if you're on a major ISP. So that's how you use MetaDomainer to make a small business website fast. You find a great domain name, you register it, you add it to your MetaDomainer install, and you set up the small business template. Now there are dozens of communities with the name Woodlawn. There's probably dozens of roofing companies that work in those areas. And so for anyone looking for a good domain, a niche domain for their roofing company, it's a valuable domain. You could sell this domain for $500 to a couple $1,000s, and you could throw in web hosting with it. You could throw in web design with it. And so that's why people like the domaining business. But whether you're doing it for yourself, for building niche websites, for Amazon ad pages, or links pages, or affiliate pages, MetaDomainer is a great solution, and that's why it's so powerful for domainers. So we hope you join us. Hope you become a MetaDomainer today. If you've already purchased and you want to take advantage of some of the other offers, just let us know, and we'll point you in the right direction. Thanks.